you for your presence here, and for first of all for your presence in our project. I just recognized this morning that our project, actually international project, celebrate 5 years old this year, because we started back in 2021 together with Nadia Kravchuk and with Dana Reznice, who is a deputy chair of FIDE management board, and we started with a very small pilot project, and with very few partners. And actually I see Pep and Luis today with us, who was a pioneers together with us. They believed to this project, they understand this project. Until now we are together, but so I'm very grateful to them for this, and for all our partners who've been with us from very, very beginning. But of course, for those who are joining us and who learn more about our project. That means a lot for us, and for us also it's very important your opinion, because today we have two people with us, Natalia Popova and Alla Mishenka, who is a those two people wrote actually our handbook for this project, and now we are in a process to make it second edition. That's why actually we are here to brainstorm together and to understand what we can do better, what we can improve. Is it anything that challenges that you faced during use our program? So all your opinions, all your experience is very much important for us. So thank you so much, all our partners. I also see Susanna from Portugal with us. She is also a member of FIDE Women Commission. I see Christina. So many people here today, and I hope more will join. And I would like to thank, of course, Maria, who is like heart of our project. Yes, because she is so much caring about all of us, and without her this project cannot be successful, of course. So thank you very much, Maria. And Maria was in the project from 3 years already, I believe. And from this year, she became also the secretary of the FIDE Social Commission. So I'm very glad for this as well. And I would like to thank FIDE Social Commission and its chair, Andrea, for the great support that we are getting daily. And it's very nice that we are in touch. So I promise you not to be long, but at the same time, so many things that I want to tell you. So thank you very much, and I hope it will be a very productive day for us.
Thank you very much, Anastasia. Thank you for your kind words. And following your inspirational speech, I would love to share the floor with Andre, the chair of FIDE Social Commission, who is always with us in any initiative. Please, Andre.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Maria. Thank you for this brainstorming session, and also for your work in Social Commission. I'm very happy to be today with you, because in my function as chair of Social Commission, I have a lot of other also projects like Chess for Freedom, Chess for Protection, Hope, and other ones. But today I come with a great interest to hear you, because in my region I have been contacted by an institution who wants me to help with Infinite Chess, with autism chess, as a trainer and as a coach. And I entered into this world and realized, wow, this is such a great work who has been done, especially by the organizer, by the experts, by the people on the ground. So today I'm not only here to welcome you as a chair of the Social Commission, but as a participant who is interested to know more. And I just want to raise also the awareness that the Social Commission is doing a lot of master classes at the moment. Perhaps we will have also one of Infinite Chess once, Maria, we can think about it. And we will have the Social Chess Day where we will have a panel with experts in all the projects. And I'm really happy to announce this. And I wish you a great brainstorming session. I don't know if I can help you also with some ideas, but I'm a very active listener today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Andre. Well, while we are listening, we can come across any idea which can be helpful for sure. This is why we are very value your presence today. And I would love to start. I thought that it is great to share experience, but maybe it is good to hear and to listen to our authors and to understand what are they going to introduce you for the next stages with the second edition of the handbook. It is good to hear the plans so you can understand maybe there will be answers already to your questions, or maybe you understand that something is missed by us and we need to add anything to make the handbook more comprehensive and more embracing to all the challenges you may face. So I would love to start with Natalia Popova, who is the author, one of the authors of the handbook, the first program. And now she's working hard on the chess lessons plan. And Natalia, please tell us what will be different in the second handbook in comparison with the first, and well, how can be useful for those who are with the project.
Okay, but I see that my internet connection isn't stable, but I hope you can hear me. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, dear colleagues. I'm very happy to see all of you. And we started working with second edition of handbook. Maria, can you hear me?
Yes, you are interrupting a little bit, but well, in general, it is comprehensible.
In
I think.
general, it's possible, yeah, to hear me. Maybe some waves. So, and it was a challenge for me, yeah, how I need to write the second edition, because we have some differences. We need to study, we need to teach students or kids how to do some maybe tactics, some maybe strategic moments, yeah. And it's not like a simple moves. It's a challenge for me. But first, I want to say that some main principles are still in the second edition, to divide maybe some complex points, some complex tactics into the simplest part. And to start with very simple positions, and then the complexity smoothly or gradually is rising. So this is the first main principle that contains in our second edition as well. And what the difference? Yeah. So you see, the challenge for me, how can I explain more complex method, techniques, or points or tactics for such a student, because I need to predict all nuances, all questions that can occur during maybe this learning of this topic, etc., etc. So that's why I try to divide all these complex things into the simplest part and to explain every single nuance, every single point. That's why, thus, I would say, yeah, thus every topic becomes more voluminous. So there are many examples, there are many positions are involved in every topic, and it helps a student to understand maybe this topic, etc., etc. Also, I want to involve maybe some practical significant of every exercise. Yeah, why do we need to use this exercise or this exercise? Because okay, let's stop here. Okay, what about our lessons? Yeah, then I will be able to continue. Yeah, my thoughts about this, but not we need to stop. What about every single lesson? Yeah, in my opinion, we have to divide it into parts. Yeah, first we need to explain maybe some new technique, method, concept, etc., or to repeat previous studied. Yeah. So, and the second part, we have to play. We have to play. We have to. We should play chess. If it's possible, students can play each other. If it's not possible, you can play sim with them, etc., to find a way how you can involve them in a real game. Yeah. So I will discuss about this later about the real game. Yeah. So that's why when we study, so now we need to return to the previous thoughts. When we need to study maybe some concept or technique for example, a fork. Yeah. Uh, okay, we need to start with very simple positions. Yeah, like only knight and king versus knight versus king and queen on the board. How to fork, etc. These simple positions. But what's next? Yeah, so we need to gradually we need to improve complexity, to add more pieces. And it's very important. In the end, I always suggest you to show this technique in the opening. For example, how can we fork in the opening? For example, if you are chess trainer, you know it, the most popular fork on f7 or c7, yeah, or respectively on f2, c2. We also need to solve these puzzles, yeah, and not only to solve. Okay, you managed to win a queen or win a rook using a fork, yeah, so perfect. We award the students, etc., with words, maybe with some symbols, you know how to do it. But what's next? We need to stop here, or we should deal with this position as well, yeah? And in the methodological part, I suggest you to deal with this position, how this position can occur, especially if we break down the opening position, yeah? Why this fork is possible, yeah? For example, bishop on c4, knight on g5, how bishop how did the bishop reach the c4 position from f1 to c4? Yeah, how is it possible to play with this bishop? First, we need to play e2, e4. Yeah, and thus we focus students on these points, and we give them indirectly some advice how to develop pieces in the very beginning. It's also important not to only teach them how to develop pieces in the opening like a separate topic. Yeah, it will be boring for them. But describing these simple positions, not simple positions that can occur immediately in the opening, we can analyze maybe step by step with many repetitions how this possible, yeah, how is it possible. So the arrangement of pieces, to break down the arrangement of pieces, especially a fork or a pin immediately in the opening. Also, I include some maybe also simple positions about fork and pin in the end game. Yeah, and also we have to deal with this arrangement of pieces, why we need to pin this piece, or why do we need to fork this piece, etc. And in the methodological guide, I included as many examples as possible how to deal with this point, with this tactic, with this nuance. And also the difference between two methodological guides is that I need that I don't need to explain how to say children this. You know how to work with these children, yeah? For example, if you are experienced, if you are not experienced, I want to say that you can feel how to say, how to work, because every student, every child is unique. It's not, it's totally impossible to give you strict instructions how to, what do you need to say. And, but, what could I say? And you see, in the methodological guide, now I try to explain why do we need to focus, why do we need to draw the students' attention to this point, to this tactic, what the purpose of exactly of this tactic, of this point of view, of this method, or of this maybe nuance, yeah, and how can we explain it for students, and which positions we can use, etc., etc. That's why there is no I didn't point out where do you need to work, on the big desk, on the individual desk, on the maybe carpet desk, I don't know. Yeah, so that's why I focus on the purpose of these exercises and how can we divide it into the simplest position, to the simplest, I would say, parts or pieces. Not like our chess pieces, pieces. So this is the main idea of my of our second edition, and it's a challenge for me, and also a challenge for us that you see that we use all this at our glance, at our first glance, simple techniques, yeah, like a ladder mate, maybe a pin, a fork, but for such students it's so complicated because they need to think two moves ahead. This is also a challenge for us, not only single move. He makes single move and okay, I did it here. No, he or she needs to think two moves ahead. So for example, I played this move, my opponent can reply like this. What do I need to do next move? Yeah. So this is a challenge for us to teach him how they can. How is it possible to think two moves ahead, and how is it possible maybe to divide into the simplest math the whole method? For example, I would say a few words about the ladder mate. Yeah, as a chess player or chess teacher or someone who can play chess, it's easy, yeah, for us to ladder mate, but for such students it's very, very difficult. That's why writing this topic I divided um, into the simplest position and try to explain every nuance. And it was it seems a simple topic, but it this topic contains maybe like a chess book. It contains maybe 40 pages, yes, to explain every moment. And after this dividing to the simplest part, it now will be a bit easy to explain the entire method, yeah, from stem to stern, for example, yeah. So this is my thoughts, and I want to say a few words about so if you have some questions, especially how to explain this moment or this topic, chess topic, yeah, you can feel free to ask me. I am open to your questions, yeah, because it's very interesting to me as a methodological specialist. Yeah, how can we deal with these issues that may arise? So maybe maybe my speech wasn't so structured, yeah, but anyway.
Thank you, Natalia. Well, actually, it's normal because I think that you are just in a process of creating the book. Yes, so it's quite, born right now. So we are seeing the birth of the handbook. So it's normal that you have something in mind which you try to share, and we are here to brainstorm and make it more structural if colleagues see that it is necessary. The main issue which I remember from the previous stages, which I heard not once, is that it's quite difficult sometimes for people to get used to the material, because we have variants when we have a chess coach who has no experience in dealing with ACD students, right? He or she has no experience in tutoring. And we have vice versa example when we have a tutor, for example, or a special needs teacher who wants to start the project, but he or she doesn't heard about chess or has never tried to play chess. So, and this situation when I think they face with a challenge, and the first variant, how to deal with the kids, because there are a lot of nuances in the behavior and emotional stuff. But on the other hand, if a tutor who wants to start the project, he doesn't know a lot about chess, and it's quite challenging to start, especially to continue when you go deeper. So I think that the approach to make it simpler is the best, and I hope that colleagues will give their feedback for us.
Yeah, and as I mentioned at the previous maybe sessions, yeah, so that's why I and Ala are writers of the second edition, yeah, because I am responsible for the chess maybe part, and Ala, yeah, we are working together, but mostly Ala is responsible for the part how to deal with autistic people, how students how to help.
Natalia, we just cannot hear you better. Well, I think that I agree with you, and we have here Alla with us, who can also share a few words about her part in this handbook. Alla, can you share your thoughts?
Can you hear me? Can you hear
Yes.
me?
Yes.
Yeah, hi everybody. It's great to see all of you. And I apologize. I have no video on this computer, or no video or a bad sound. We chose to have good sound. It's so exciting to work on our second edition, and as Natalia said, it's something new for all of us. What I would like to tell you about my part, we all know that students with autism often need direct support to develop executive functioning skills, and executive functioning skills help us to pay attention, control impulses, remember information, adapt to changes, plans, routines, monitor actions, and manage emotions. And as Natalia said, it's very important to think, for example, 2 moves ahead, right? Which is difficult for kids with autism. In second edition, we are working on this part. These skills are very important for learning and are also essential for successful playing chess. Part 2 of the Infinite Chess Guide will focus on teaching executive functioning skills, as I said, and we also added a new section on understanding and supporting behavior. That's, I think, we are all facing, including prevention, escalation, de-escalation, and replacement behavior. In addition, we will introduce practical visuals, which you can probably easily print out, teaching strategies and activities that teachers can use immediately during the lesson. And as Natalia said, we are always open to your questions. If you need any advice, any help, if you want to share your ideas, you're very welcome. And we are looking forward to our next meeting to discuss our new second part. Maria?
Thank you, Alla.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you,
will
Alma.
try
Yes.
to log off and log in with the video now. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Well, to finalize the both thoughts, I think that we understand that the second edition will be deeper and practical orientated, and I think it will be helpful with those issues which we heard during the previous stages regarding the complication in chess lessons, and when you have no experience in teaching chess, it will be simpler step-by-step guide, and in terms of behavior, how to prevent it or how to deal it when we cannot prevent it. So I think I hope it will be very helpful for you, and it will be used by everyone, because we have a lot of people who are with us for 5 years already, and it's important to go further. And now it is the time for us to share. And I know that it's difficult to start. This is why I'm very thankful to Kanti Sarju from South Africa, who is ready to share with us the first her journey and the challenges which she faces during the journey of Infinite Chess. Kanti, are you here with us?
Yes, I am.
Yes, so you can share the screen. It's very nice to see you. Hello.
Okay, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, yes. Could you make it full screen? Yes, great.
Okay.
Perfect.
I just wanted just a little bit of perspective of where we're coming from. So we are in the fourth year, very, very excited to be in the fourth year of this project. Big believer of the project, definitely have seen qualitatively, quantitatively evidence that chess is an effective tool in actually promoting social communication and social skills. And I think being a speech therapist, my big thing is that chess is not only a game and a tool, but actually a language where you are teaching concepts. And it's very important that you take into consideration that children that are on the spectrum come with a whole cohort of symptoms, characteristics, and behavior that you have to accommodate when you are teaching or introducing concepts. So I just chose one of my groups. We are the Brown School in South Africa. We are a special needs school, and our school specializes in children with learning disabilities, cerebral palsy, and autism. And we have classes from autistic 3, autistic 4, autistic 5, and autistic 6. We have an hour-long session, and it's in a class group of 7 to 8 kids, and sometimes as much as 15 kids at a time in each session. The class that I chose is our first introductory class, so it is the Auth3 class. And even though I've been teaching this chess for 4 years, it was amazing to see that you constantly have new challenges as you introduce chess to your group, and you have to be problem solving all the time. And I think the big thing when you have children on the spectrum is to see what kind of support you have provided actually for them. So if you looked at the program, you introduce your chessboard, you introduce all the concepts. So we introduced the rook, and we practiced, we moved, we captured, we attacked with the rook, we did all the concepts. The kids flew through the lessons. There was very good understanding. When we kind of evaluated how we did, we could see that every child knew the concept of, knew the chess piece, knew exactly how it moved, was very confident. So we confidently moved on to the bishop. And it was as if we hit a block, because again, we know that children on the spectrum are quite repetitive. They're quite, well, we would say restricted in their thinking, but I think a neurodiverse way of looking at that would say that they are more in tune to sameness. And to actually get the concept of a diagonal was very, very difficult. It was quite a challenge for them. So the first thing we tried to do is see if we could adjust our language to introduce that concept diagonal. So we said corner to corner, we looked at a square, we kind of showed them what a corner is, and if this corner met with another corner, it will create a diagonal. We did that, but week on week, we still saw that children were still confused with this concept of diagonals. And so we tried to go back to the chessboard and just say, look for the shortest diagonal, look for the longest white diagonal, look for the shortest, for a three white square diagonal, look for a five black square diagonal, just for them to go back and to look at the board and look at the board in a different way. We also tried to do this on the floor mat. And also what I did was not just the tutor giving the instruction. Each child gave each other the instruction, like, look for the two white square diagonal, so that they could feel like they were in charge. It was more interactive. And also they had a bit of turn-taking skills going on there. And also they felt like they kind of owned the concept of diagonals. We then went on to our demo board using green and red magnets, because another concept to note is that if there is a chess piece on its path, then it can't move further. So you're kind of going onto the concept of whether it's if your chess piece is part of your team or not. And one thing that you have to be is very creative. So we would be like, so you're going on your path, and then you meet your friend if it is the same color, and you're just having tea and you go back home. But when it is an opponent, then your story is different, then you get to capture it. So by using narratives, by using a bit of anecdotal stories and lots of humor, I think you actually creating, again, a fun lesson, something that children can relate to. Then we started with little puzzles on the chessboard and using some arrows, trying to, again, look at how the bishop moves, how it can navigate through your chessboard. And the puzzles also were hierarchical. We would only use maybe 2 pawns, then we'd change it to more pieces and get it more complicated, just to prepare them and to get them, achieving at the end of your lesson. Because when a child decides that this is a very difficult concept, you'll find that the motivation is actually not so great. So you constantly have to find ways of making the lesson, number one, at their level, number two, making sure that each one understands it and it is a success at the end of the lesson. I think one thing that you realize is that you constantly have to evaluate, what am I achieving in this session? And did the child understand that concept? If they didn't, then I have to problem solve and figure it out again. Then finally, we go on to the exercise, the lessons that are part of the program. And here also, I think you realize that to make it fun, you got to constantly change your rewards. And I think sometimes it's a stamp, sometimes it's a sticker, sometimes it's a badge, sometimes it's a sweet, sometimes it's a token, so that they want to come back, they stay motivated, and chess is always fun. But what was wonderful is that because our teachers are part of our lesson, I found that for this particular class, the teacher realized that we were really, really battling with getting this concept of diagonals and how the bishop moves, moving from the rook. The teacher actually gave an assessment lesson in her class, and where she reinforced some concepts like the chess notations, and she made it into a listening task, and also said like the little face is a bishop, and how would the bishop move, and also made it a little bit into a comprehension lesson. And with this type of support, we found that finally we could say that our children had achieved, had acquired this concept of this chess piece bishop, and knew exactly how it moved. And every child was able, when they heard bishop, they were able to understand the concept. I think in terms of problem solving, it's very important that we do evaluate each learner based on their individual strengths and weaknesses, and definitely create that individualized support. Sometimes I think what you'll find is that you got to go and get other materials to support the concept visually, or demonstrate, or highlight, or repetitive ways of actually supporting the same concept, but in more creative ways as well, and as interactive as possible. I think also you have to allow yourself time, which is something that we hardly talk about, because you think, okay, I just really need to move through this program, not realizing that sometimes you really do have to allow yourself and the child the time to actually acquire certain concepts. Certain concepts might be easier, certain might be quite difficult for them. Another thing is to allow many opportunities for them to practice. So every class is given a chessboard, so that during the week, because remember I said it's just an hour session for a week, so during the week they can practice. And because teachers are part of our program, you'll find that they would also just do exactly what we did in the lessons, and just support it in their classrooms. It's important also to reassess if a child really does know the concept, or is it that they knew it only in this certain context, but if you had to reevaluate it, they didn't. Then you go back to basics and again evaluate whether they know it or not. I also found that it's important to recognize the sensory issues that the children have. So if you have 8 children in a classroom, it's important that you know exactly what's happening to 8 children or 15 children. Like there's one particular child that cannot stand it when you sneeze. Although she has noise cancelling earphones, now we are just hitting winter in South Africa, so lots of children have colds and flus, and a sneeze is unpredictable. You'll never ever know when a child is actually going to sneeze. So you cannot predict how your lesson is going to be. So it's important that you actually support the child in terms of their sensitivity. And with the sneeze, we have actually some books on why we sneeze, or some characters on I hate sneezes, or what happens when you are dealing with something uncomfortable. So social stories and children's books help us with these things. Also, in a child's routine, there might be changes that can also affect how they respond in your lesson. So it's important for you to know that, like the child didn't bring their swimming costume and it was a swimming lesson, and he was or she was excluded from there. So she's very miserable, and you know that you're not going to have a very good session, but just to accommodate these things. Sometimes there's changes in medication. Sometimes children are not on medication. They just forgot it for that particular day. Then you're going to find that there is problems with how they cooperate in that lesson. I also found that the home situation may change in a child's life, like dad is away on business, mom is gone to a meeting in another province. So those things do affect how a child cooperates in the lesson. The other thing is that there's time constraints in that you have that hour session, you got to go through your material. It's very hard to actually get information from teachers sometimes, and even from parents. So it's very important that you have the support from the teacher, the parent, the other therapists to know exactly what is happening in the learner's life. So it's important that we all communicate, but it starts from observations, that you did observe that there was a change in how a child responded to your lesson, and that you do talk to your multidisciplinary team to figure out exactly what's happening in the children's lives. And I think that is it for me. Thank you very much for this platform. And as I said, firm believer of our program.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Kanti. It's always very, very eye-opening for me because, every time we speak about how we need to solve this or that issue, what can happen, and every time when I speak with our partners, I always learn something. And I agree about individualized approach, because I said recently in some presentation that when you meet one child, one person with autism, you meet exactly one person with autism. It is a unique case every time, and there are no universal diagnoses for that. Although we say that this is not a diagnosis, it's a condition. So we need to understand that it's a very, very individualized approach every time. And this is why we are here, because it's impossible, unfortunately. We wish to, but it's impossible to write a very universal handbook to be used for all kids and people with autism as one universal tool. This is why this is like, support for everyone, and you are the main heroes to observe your students and to understand what can be used here, what can we add, because it's a universe which is still under investigation from our part. And yes, I agree again that we do not have the time issue here. Allow yourself and the kids the time. And I always repeat that every tiny victory, even which we cannot notice at first, is a victory for us in the project. There is no obligation to follow the program within sometimes time limits. It is not the goal of it. The goal is hello. Pep, you have a very good company. The main goal here is to help the kids to live their life with a better quality, to understand that they are unique, we're all unique, and to feel themselves safe, confident, and I think open to the world. Well, and of course, it is a teamwork. We're here as a family, and I always underline this moment. And it is important for you when you start a project or when you continue a project to start with the parents, who are the great basis for everything which we are doing. Until we have no parent support in this, it is impossible to move forward, because these are the main people in kids' lives. We are here to explain that this is important and this is working, and you are here as a proof that we are doing the right thing, right? So I think that we can continue. If anyone wants to share, or I will be the... Okay, Plinio, please. This is our new partner from Brazil. He just finished the first stage and already has something to share. Yes, please.
Hello, everyone. It's a big challenge to speak after women, and then because you all got the power, and
For sure,
actually,
but
I just want to contribute, if it's possible, with some questions and feelings. And concerning about feelings, well, I'm very grateful to be part of the Infinite Chess project, first of all, okay? For many years, I worked as a chess educational and inclusive tool, especially for autistics and children and teenagers. And this experience has taught me that each student learns differently, as Maria just said, and creativity is often more important than rigid instruction, in my opinion. Okay, that's necessary to have instruction. We have to have the rules. We have to have the how to play. But one of the idea of the Infinity Chess Handbook is to include activities that connect chess and imagination and emotions instead of, for example, let me think, what's the best move? We could ask questions like, how does this position make you feel? If this knight has a personality, what would it be? Or, for example, can you create a story about the pieces on the board? So many autistic students respond incredibly well when chess becomes a narrative, a game of symbols, colors, emotions, and characters. And to sum up, this approach, I believe, encourages communication, emotional expression, and flexible thinking while keeping the learning process enjoyable. And so the handbook, it's very nice. I love it. And I think if that's, for example, role playing with chess pieces and opportunities for students to invent their own puzzles and mini games. In this way, chess becomes more than a competitive activity, becomes a language, as we could hear before, for self-expression. So I believe that Infinite Chess has the potential not only to teach chess, but also unlock imagination, confidence, friendship, and human connection. Thank you so much. And I am going to share with you an example that worked very well here in Brazil concerning this creative process, which is, if you will excuse me, Maria, can I just put the video?
Give me a second. I need to.
I believe I have to how to share here.
Now you can share.
Okay, thank you, appreciate. So this is a 10-second or more second video about kids playing their own crazy attack. It's so crazy because the crazy is not written very correctly here. It's a kind of explosive chess. They were dealing with zombies and things like that, and children are crazy about this. And I just believe that if they are happy, if they can deal with the rules, but if they are happy, we are doing our task, isn't it? So I just want to say that to finish that time finishing, I have here a kind of children which is happy. That's why we here in Brazil love what we do about Infinity. She's happy, she's smiling, she's wearing glasses, and she's learning how to put the pawns and And that's it. I have no more words to describe the feeling of being happy. That's why we love Infinity here in Brazil. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And I agree that, well, the main idea is not to teach them how to play chess to become a grandmasters. The main idea is making their life happier and easier and comfortable and safe. So again, this handbook is a tool for you to create an art of teaching. So as Kanchi said already, I mentioned that you need to be creative all the time with all children. I think they love creative education. So it's, even if you do not speak about autism, it is important to be sure that you are interesting in what you are doing, and then they will reward you with the smiles and with the great achievements and the tiny victories which we celebrate each other. And well, I received the question from Susanna. Susanna, you need to leave now, right? So I can just read it, or you just have 3 minutes to ask it?
No, because I really need to go to leave.
Okay.
I'd like to
Okay,
say
no problem.
thank you. Thank you. It is helping us a lot. We really appreciate the next handbook. We translated to Portuguese. We try to, so we are talking about uh, 265 million people that write and speak Portuguese. So I really hope this will join. We are in 4 continents and 9 countries with the Portuguese official language. I will try to talk to Maria to see if we could put it in FIDE, also in Portuguese, and try to see if it could help the project, because also in Brazil talks Portuguese, and maybe we could try to find a book from this handbook, if you allow it, in order to also put some effort that we already have with nonverbal Asperger autists, and so maybe we could be connected and align in some group of ideas, so we could support the project. So thank you so much, and I'm sorry I have to leave, but I really need to have this testimony from Portugal, because it really has been a heartbreak. We really like to as you said, we really like to have some exercise, and also sometimes we need to stop for a minute so they could break up their energy with an exercise that is more in person, in physically, and then we come back to the chess board again and to the chess magnetic, because sometimes they are so they stay bored also the time. So you give us so much examples that we can do it also. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much,
Thank you,
Susanna.
Maria.
Okay, no problem. You can leave. I will read your question, and I think we can discuss it. And of course, I will share the recording with everyone, so you can hear the answers and the ideas from the colleagues. And I want to say that, of course, you can use the WhatsApp group, which I created especially for those reasons, that you can connect, you can discuss, you can cooperate and negotiate. And we are here, always welcome any possible support, especially translation into any language which we didn't manage to translate so far. So please feel free. I know that Plinio also is busy with the translation into Portuguese. So you can just cooperate together, and we will be happy to publish the translation of the handbook. And of course, after that, we will have a lot of work with the second edition. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, Susanna. Regarding the question, Susanna asked, could the future editions include more practical face-to-face inclusive exercises to promote interaction between autistic, nonverbal, and neurotypical students? And how can chess tactics and strategic think to be taught through visual and nonverbal approaches? Do you have anything of that, Natalia?
That's a challenge for us, yeah, for non-verbal kids to explain all this complex tactics, etc., etc. That's why I, in first edition, I created the visual cards. So with many diagrams, and every move is indicated on every diagram, so the non-verbal person can follow all these diagrams and understand the whole tactic. So that's why I use such approach to explain this maybe fork or pin or something else via diagrams, not via words, via written words, via diagrams. Every move on the separate diagram, it's like a movie. Yeah, you can watch a movie, first episode, second, third, etc., etc., etc. That's why it takes time for me to write every topic because of that. Yeah, because I need to explain every move on every diagram, so you can follow all this diagram and these small changes, and maybe it will be useful for non-verbal children to understand the concept of this key point. Yeah. So, and what
Okay.
about the practice? Yeah, as I mentioned, the second part, please, you have to provide some maybe playing chess. If it's possible, student can play chess each other, or you can play with your students. If you have many students in a group, you can play simul, etc., etc. You can play maybe not only like the whole set of pieces. You can play maybe only pawn battles, or you can set up only 4 pawns for you and 8 pawns for your student. Yeah, and will be useful for him, for her, to play this position and to find the way how it's possible to win with this decisive material, maybe to push one pawn forward, passed pawn, yeah, to push the other passed pawn on the other side of board. It also helpful to understand the technique how to play chess in the games. Or for example, my students like to play a position versus me when they have the whole set of pieces, and I have only king and pawns, and now they realized that they can change pieces the same value, or not only king and pawns, king, 2 knights and 2 bishops and pawns. So I am playing without the rook and queens, without the queen and the rooks, and now they realize that they can trade off the pieces of the same value, and even they can give up a rook for a knight or for a bishop. So because they have so decisive advantage, and they manage, for example, to trade off all my minor pieces, it's easy for them to grab all my pawns with queen and rooks and to set up this ladder might. Yeah, so that's why it's also useful. It's easy for them to win a position, to win a game. It's not so easy, but it helps him to understand how to deal with decisive material advantage. It helps them to understand how to maybe collect all these pawns and to set up a ladder mate. Yeah, so that's why playing chess game like this. Yeah, you can help them to repeat all previous studied topics. Yeah, also that's why in our second edition, I immediately put the first topic is fork, pin, that we can meet all this tactic in the very beginning, in the opening, immediately in the opening. Then it may be, I forgot, ladder mate, etc., etc. All these simple, not simple, all these topics that we can meet when we play these mini games or with different number of pieces, etc., etc. That's why, and now in the end of our years, it was a very interesting moment. Yeah, they requested to play with the whole set of pieces. They can play with the whole set, and I should play with the whole. Please, Natalia, play with the whole set of pieces. It was a surprise for me. It wasn't my proposal. Yeah, it was their proposal. Yeah, it was. It's a great luck, I would say. Yeah. So now they can play without fear. Yeah. To play with the whole set of pieces. You see, it goes smoothly, maybe slowly, but surely, I would say.
Thank you, Natalia. I see that Kanti also wants to add something to the point.
Yes, Maria. I was just going to try and think when we introduce a concept, it could be prepositions, it could be just to improve the sentence structure. So our research is showing us that AAC actually helps with speech development, it helps with understanding, and it helps with communication. So maybe support materials might be something that we can look at, where you have the character rook, and you could have your PCS, your picture communication symbol, saying, I go up, I go down, I go side to side, and then just carry on with sentences, simple sentences with your pitch, with visual cues on, I'm on a board, this is where I can move. And in this way, it's a support material for when you're introducing certain chess pieces. I also think that comic strip conversation might be a good idea, just so that you got two characters, two chess pieces talking to each other with speech bubbles. And in this way, you can have a lot of conversation around it. Even the nonverbal children actually appreciate these type of visuals because it's fun, it's interactive, and it's especially when you add character to anything. You'll find that their attention and their willingness to learn a concept is so much better, so much easier to actually get through the material, and then to do play via play. Like I've got now the character rook, and you are the queen, and how would we behave on a chessboard, or what happens if I have to capture you, and then you can actually explore lots of other situations as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Kanti. I think that, again, initially, I think 1 year ago, it was my idea to create a digital hub with the collection of supportive materials, which can be opened for all the partners of Infinite Chess. And I'm trying to collect everything, and this where I need your help again. Because of course you are dealing with it often, and you are trying to find every time everything new. And if you have anything to share, I'm sure you have, please share it with me. I will just combine it in one hub and will share it with everyone, so everyone has an access and the opportunity to use it and to make it easier, the teaching process. I mean, Pep, please, you also want to share with us your questions or your ideas? You are muted.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Hello. Yes, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, I don't have a lot of time because now some people are waiting for me for fantastic paella near the beach. So I want to.
We are not jealous. We are not jealous, Pep. Okay.
I want to tell you something that we are talking with my team. Well, first of all, I would like to congratulate the entire Infinite team, especially Maria, Natalia, Mrs. Kaya. I think you are did and doing a fantastic job. I hope the second version of the manual, the handbook, will be a significant step forward. I hope so. And I would like to share some recommendations that we have discussed with my team, and then we have sent to Maria. Currently, our team is is a fantastic team with a lot of people in the Canadian islands we got Pedro Martini, Paula Godemi, Ricardo Cortés, Gemma Jiménez, María Ángeles Castellano, and Jose María Salazar. And later here in Balearic Island, we got Juan Tourinho, Elena Beach, and Alice Polito. So in this last period of people, we are working with a lot of more than 78 children and young people, no, with a lot of teachers involved in this. So we have some proposals that we thinking will be interesting to thinking about. And we want to say that, of course, in a way that we try to improve the program, because we are clearly intending to provide new support of the program. No. First of all, I want to tell you, because someone said before, it's impossible, and I agree with that creating a handbook that resolves every situation. That is impossible. And we have learned something all over the year, no? Then the contents is very important, of course. But the human factor, the structure, and their approach to the group is essential. For us, this is something absolutely critical. Because if you got a fantastic manual, fantastic handbook, but if your structure, the people who teach with this collective, don't have this kind of love for what they do, I think it is very, 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 very difficult. So we got some proposal in 3 different areas. Pedagogical improvement, like Maria said just now, we're thinking that create a shared repository of teaching resource for all the participants, teachers, will be a fantastic idea. Develop short teacher training videos. Today is very easy to do that. Talking about methodology, talking about adaptation of activities as the therapeutic use of chess. And of course, designing simple tool for initial assessment, ongoing monitoring and final evaluation of the student. The second part will be organizational improvement. For us, will be fantastic if we can establish a global project calendar, including start and end dates, documentation, deadline, and follow-up meetings. Implementing a common system for monitoring lessons, diaries, or lesson record. Until now, we did that with the Excel sheet. This is fantastic, of course, but for many teachers, and this is our experience, it's not easy to do that. Third point, promote, and this is something for me very, very interesting, promote international exchange between groups, teachers and participation organizations in order to strengthen the European and international dimension of the project. And then the third part about methodological improvement, we're thinking that strengthen the use of chess and educational, therapeutic, and social tools. Define clear level-based pathways in order to facilitate students' progression. And the last point, of course, including indicators related to participation, motivation, autonomy, attention, and social skills. For us, it will be something that we send to Maria, thinking is very interesting. And now, the last thinking that I want to talk, but I think this is something really, really fantastic, because I know from yesterday until yesterday, I don't know nothing about that, but we're making a fantastic Erasmus project with 8 universities from South America and 2 from Spain. And someone said to us that will be approved. So it's fantastic, because in this Erasmus project, a little part of the project is about chess and autism. So this is what I want to say. Thank you very much. In a few minutes, I go to eat a paella.
Hey Pep, I was doing my best to love you all this time, but was the last point with paella, so you shouldn't be so cruel with us. Thank you very much for your points. Actually, I was thinking about the tracking experience. I mean, I understand totally that chess lesson diaries in Excel files it's very challenging for many teachers, and
Many teachers, that's right.
I understand how I sound ears when speaking all the time. Please send it to me. Please send it to me. Yes, I wonder how can we do this well automatically? I don't know. Maybe is there any ideas how artificial intelligence can help us with tracking progress? Maybe there is an opportunity from any of you to provide support to make this system. It will be a great step forward for the projects and for everyone.
We try with the Google Form to make a Google Form very easy for the teachers. And it's just a few questions about any lesson, you know. Maybe I think it needs 4 or 5 questions for every lesson. Anonymous, of course, but maybe it's better because when you give the Excel diary to the teacher, everybody says, "Hey, what can I do that? What you know, it's very difficult sometimes because I explain many times, but later they don't have a lot of time. But if we in the last session we make this little Google form, but later we need to transfer all the information to the Excel diary. So yes, I think we must thinking about something not so complicated for the teacher.
Well, this is my goal to make your life easier, actually, and I will appreciate. Okay, something wrong with the connection. I will appreciate if you will share with me your ideas. I mean, we can try the Google form for the next stage, for example, and try it as a pilot.
I don't hear you. I don't hear you, Maria. I know it is now. Yes,
it's a paella calling because you're not hearing me because it's paella calling. I understand. I think I was saying that we can try the Google form for the next. So please share with me in WhatsApp or in email or whatever it's used to. Did it? I mean, with Natalia and Alla because these chess lessons diaries created to help them to understand what you need, what is your issue, what is your challenges. So we will discuss the question, and I think it is a good idea to start by the Google form and we start the next step and we will see how it works. And I will have a thought about how to make it even easier, maybe to have some digital platform or something so it can be collected in some base so we can use it for the future resource. And of course, please keep me updated on this Erasmus project because even a tiny moment of Infinite, it's interesting for me. So please, I want to be informed of that and congratulations. It's a great news. Thank you very much. Does anyone have any questions? Thank you, Pep. Thank you. Okay, it for myself again. And anyone have any questions? Because, well, we can speak forever, but maybe any of you have any challenge or question which you were planning to ask. Nothing? Okay, I think that you're digesting the information in paella. I'm not sure, but I hope that you can listen to me, right? You can hear me because something is wrong with my connection. I Want to remind you that everyone can openly ask any question in our WhatsApp group or send me direct message or email if you have anything to ask. And while our ladies are still on their hard work with creating a second edition, you still have time to share your thoughts, your ideas, suggestions, proposals. And we will make sure that we cover all this and make it comprehensive. Of course, to finalize it, as we have no questions, I think that we will hear everything during this summertime and include the practical orientated exercises, include the emotional part, but still we need to remember that emotions are very good and this is not the main goal of the project, right? So the main goal is much more comprehensive, and we need to remember that we are creating this program and you are the authors of your lesson, each of you. So please feel free to use it, to add to it your masterpiece, your experience, your approach. Make it individualized, as we mentioned already. Make it fun, make it helpful. And I hope that we will grow further. And as we are one movement, we will make it even bigger. Thank you very much for joining us, for finding time this beautiful Saturday. I wish you all good day, good night, and good morning. And hope to hear and meet with you further on. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Maria.
Bye. Thank you, Maria.
Bye.
Thank you very much for all of you.
Thank you.
No.